welcome back to the Chelsea Football Fancast. It's Stanford Chidge here, of course, and the lovely
carrot-chewing Sophie Rose.
Carrot-crunching Sophie Rose. Debbie McGee to my Paul... What's his name? I've got his name now.
Daniels.
Thank you, Paul Daniels. Yes. And that's magic. No, it isn't. Anyway, she's bemused by that, aren't you?
I am.
You are bemused. Do you know who Paul Daniels is?
No idea.
You don't know who... Do you know who Debbie McGee is?
No.
Generation.
I love this. This is great. She doesn't know who Paul... You don't know how lucky you are not to know who...
Do you know who Wave is?
Who?
No, not Wave. Wash.
Wash? I had one this morning.
Montana?
Montana? No, it's a lovely... Yeah, Montana's a huge state in America.
No.
No?
He's a... Do you know who Kid Ink is?
No.
No good, darling.
No, nobody does.
I'm going to have to... Oh, dear God. I'm going to have to get you lot into the music.
I thought it was Down with Youth, man. Yeah. Do you know who the Infinite Three are?
No. But do you know what I'm going to call you lot?
We can play this game all night, Sophie.
I'm going to call you lot my thoughts.
What?
You're going to have to read out what that means.
Your thongs?
Your thongs?
Thoughts.
Thoughts.
T-H-O-T-S.
That's thoughts.
Thoughts. No, T-H-O-T-S.
Okay. You can tell me after the show. But until then...
More importantly, she thinks Paul Daniels is a rapper.
Yeah,
At least you know they're rappers. There we go.
Unbelievable.
They're not
do you know what?
here.
It's time for Chelsea Chatter Stats. This week read by the lovely Sophie with a little bit of stingage in between, hopefully, where I can play bongos or imaginary one. No, Chelsea Chatter Stats sting. Sorry, I was misleading the gallery there.
I never knew Chelsea had so much history.
Right, Sophie, what voice are you going to be reading? Are you going to read this in the style of Jonathan Kidd or in the style of Sophie Rose?
I'm going to... How shall I read this?
Well,
Posh
however
voice?
you want. However you want.
I'm going to try and be as posh as possible. Ready?
Okay, do your posh voice. I can't wait.
So here are Chelsea Chadder's stats. Chelsea have kept up their 100% home record in the Premier League. They have also scored at least twice in each of those games. The Blues have now received over 50 yellow cards this season. Naughty. John Terry becomes the joint third all-time appearance maker for Chelsea with 648 games. He is currently 81 games behind Peter Bonetti in second place. Well done. Diego Costa has now scored 10 goals in 9 Premier League appearances at Stamford Bridge. He's also the league's top goal scorer this season with 15. And now for the stat of the week. Pt.6 has now kept a clean sheet in his last 9 Premier League games at Stamford Bridge. The last goal he conceded was in January 2014. Well done.
I think I actually revealed that stat earlier.
Did you?
I did. There's been double statting tonight.
That's very good.
Well done, Sophie. Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was lovely. That's kind of like your audition for Talk Sport or Sky Sports News, isn't it?
Well, like
You were really posh then.
It's like Radio Forest, isn't it?
She was really posh.
Radio Forest.
He's doing shipping forecast next week.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was very good.
First
I don't know why I'm
time's a charm.
surprised that you sounded posh, because of course I know that you are very posh. You know,
Well, it depends who I'm speaking around. You know, like sometimes
you're getting a bit vernacular there.
we like, yes, meet me in France. And then it all goes.
Can you say storm rising on Dogger Bank?
Storm rising on Dogger Bank.
Yeah, natural. There you go.
Easy, isn't it?
Why is that meant to be hard to say?
No.
Well, no, it's just what
shipping
forecast is on
Oh,
Radio 4.
right.
We'll get you on Radio 4 one day, love, don't you worry. You keep with your uncle's kids, you'll sort you out. Right, now, you'll be delighted to know, of course, that for more Chelsea stats and history, all you need to do is to go to www.chatter.com. And you can tweet the great man, who I still am obviously in regular contact with. We haven't seen him on the show for a long time, but he is very, very well, and he's still very, very lovely. And he's still wearing approximations of Christmas jumpers every day of the week. For that, we love him. Anyway, you can follow him at Chelsea Chatter on Twitter. Very, very easy. Now, you'll be delighted to know that you're going to have even more of Sophie after this wonderful little
Very
bit of
lucky
stingage,
people.
where we will all be playing the bongos. But after which, Sophie will be telling us what's been going on this week. Oh, yeah.
Will.
Sorry, caught me. They are imaginary bongos, it's allowed. Right, Sophie, what have you got for us this week?
Well, as usual... No, I'm not as...
The weekly plug for the CFP,
It is,
isn't it?
it is. So, the Chelsea Supporters Trust, it is a very, very good organisation, isn't it, Chidge?
It is.
It is. So, it's £5 to become a voting member, or it's just free for non-voting members. But either way, you should sign up because it's a great cause. And you can sign up at chelseasupporterstrust.com. That's where you attend meetings, take part in polls, or
Well, I mean,
whatever you've got
basically,
going
yeah.
on.
I mean, Dan will know because Dan's been in there since the big. Dan Levine, was at the meetings before we formed the trust, as I recall.
And I'm a fully paid up member.
He's a fully paid up member. But the whole point of it is that you really, as a supporter, you can get your voice heard by the club. So we are like a conduit to the club, and we fight the good fight on all of the issues that really, really matter, like ticketing, getting more youth in there, better atmosphere, ticket pricing, travel to the ground, like the subsidised trains, whatever it is that's bugging Chelsea supporters, we will take to the club.
Yeah, and their most recent statement is out, isn't it, now on ticket touting?
Ticket touting? Yeah, I think we did put something out. I don't know. We had a board meeting last week, but sadly I couldn't make it. But anyway, and have you signed up yet, Sophie?
No, but I do. Honestly, I promise you.
Only £5.
I promise you, by next week, I will have done
you
it.
Promise?
I promise.
Right, okay.
But yes, moving on from that.
Yes, indeed.
The new CFC UK magazine is now out. I am a massive fan of this magazine, not just because he calls me Chelsea's #1, but because it's a great magazine. Just got loads of cool stuff in there, hasn't it, really?
Sophie Rose, Chelsea's #1.
That's what he says. I love you if you're watching, darling.
I hope you aren't watching that.
But yeah, so you can pick that up from the store, which is just opposite Fulham Broadway Tube on match days. Or you can subscribe online, can't you, digitally?
And where'd you go for that?
You can go to cfcuk.net, or if you're overseas, which is USA and America, you can go to colonialdistribution.com.
Now, the beautiful thing about colonialdistribution.com is that they get real issues of the fanzine shipped to them in Canada and the USA. So that if you live there and you want a real proper copy, right, that's what you do.
Hands on them then.
But you can get it digitally by going to cfcuk.net. Now, the latest one, you saw the picture of it a minute ago, but that is the latest one. It was out on Saturday and will be out for another 2 or 3 weeks. But I think I did a piece on managers, basically ex-Chelsea players who have become managers, and the fact that, basically my point really was that, there are something like 38 Scousers, ex-Liverpool players, who are in the media, which is why it's also red-tinted and biased. But actually our legacy is much more important because we produced loads and loads and loads of managers, and that really counts. In other words, those that can, those that can't end up being pundits on Match of the Day. Do you like that?
Don't know what you're pointing at me for, mate.
No, I feel like you were smiling. That's why I did. Right, now, we've got... we don't have the questions that...
We
don't, because I forgot to get them out of the gallery, but somebody will sneak in a minute and give them to me. But that actually gives me a quick chance. While we're talking about fans, they're on their way. But look at this. This is like proper TV. It's like Swap Shop, isn't it? You did that without getting in camera. Whoa! Well done, Steve Hadlow. You are a professional, my friend. You are a real pro. Now, before we do that, very, very quickly, I'm not going to read the whole thing out because you'll just all kill me or want to. But the lovely Daniel Taylor from The Guardian wrote a little piece about fanzines. Go and follow him on Twitter. I think it's at Dan Taylor. I can't remember.
Something like that.
It's something like that. But he did this lovely thing because basically fanzines are a really, 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 really important part of football culture. And I'm talking about the ones that do come in a crappy old, photocop kind of styly like the CFC UK. They're really, really important. As a part of football culture. And the red issue, which is the Man United one, it's their last edition this weekend, so another one bites the dust, and there are very, very few kicking around. And this is why you need to go out and buy it whenever you see them, and whenever you hear those immortal words, hurry up, it's only £1, you rush to the person selling it and you buy it. But I thought there's a... Here we go. I just read this paragraph out, which, for me... exemplifies why it's so important. What a shame, though, to see the fanzine culture slowly dying out. Red Issue is one of the few that has kept up decent sales, but others have disappeared as a direct result of the internet age. It's a time for blogs, podcasts, message boards, and supporters have other ways these days to read about their teams, connect with one another, and affiliate themselves with the kind of groups that have just persuaded Vincent Tan, or Mama Tan, according to Andy Goldstein, to return Cardiff City from red to blue. long may it continue. If you remember when it didn't feel like a proper match day unless you came away with one, you will understand why they still matter and why we should embrace the ones that are still going strong.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well done, Daniel Taylor.
Perfectly put.
Well
Really
done.
good point.
And can I say on that, just something to reinforce the importance of CFC UK, that today Henry Winter tweeted, Frank Lampard has just done an interview for The Times, of course. The next place he was saying he should do one was for CFC
absolutely.
UK.
Well, Henry's a big supporter of fanzines.
I agree
and
entirely
CFC
with Henry
UK.
on that.
And I did actually tweet it back saying, it's at only £1, hurry up.
Yeah.
I'm sure Henry knew exactly what I meant by that.
Can I just say, if Chelsea ever changed from blue to red, what
It'd
people?
be mental.
Nobody would go, would they?
It would never happen.
I 100%.
Well, it has, actually. We've had an away kit that's red, as you will remember.
We used to
Home
play in a
kit.
different colour for our home kit.
Well, we used to play light
Chelsea's blue.
city blue, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It's the same blue as
City,
it's Lord Cadogan's racing
Yes,
colours,
yeah.
which are a light blue. Used to play in that.
It's quite a long time ago.
And we used to have white shorts.
Before even Chidge was going.
Always blue, always blue.
I was actually. No, of course I wasn't. It was in the 30s. All right. OK, we've got 6 minutes left. Now, I suggest what you do, Sophie, is you pick out your favourite question from one of the people who sent the questions in on that piece of paper, and we do that one, and we see where we are after that. You've got 5 seconds to comply.
Oh, God. OK, I like this one. This is my favourite one. Question for the two Dans, Chelsea HQ.
Good choice.
Okay.
How many points do you think there will be between Chelsea and City at the end of the season?
Who's it from?
Chelsea HQ.
Chelsea
And
HQ.
we follow each other on Twitter. Hello.
You got no fans. Clearly you have. Clearly you have.
got
Loads of
fans.
fans.
Can I give a bit of a rubbish, evasive answer to that?
Go on,
on
then.
That it doesn't matter as long as it's at least one.
OK.
Okay.
But you don't know how many you think it might be?
At a guess, I'd go around 10.
Really?
No way.
I don't think as much as that.
Levine.
He's being controversial.
I think it will be 5 and we're going to win it at West Brom.
I'd rather win it at Liverpool.
That would be very
I'd
good.
rather
yeah.
win it at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Just comes down to
It'll
it.
be 5
Liverpool's
5
kind
points
of end of April. It's around. It's
towards the end.
Yeah.
25th,
What do you
I
think it would be if it came down to a playoff and Lampard scored an own goal and we won?
playoff. Oh yeah, it could end up as a playoff.
What do you think it would be like
couldn't
if Lampard scored the own goal?
I think I'll kill myself.
No, for Chelsea to win it.
Yeah,
you
for
mean?
Chelsea to
Oh,
win
yeah,
it.
I'd love my.
Oh, that'd be karma.
You know what?
Legend.
Karma.
It would be.
Legendary status fully restored.
I can't imagine a bigger set. Well,
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone going more mental.
No,
Crazy.
indeed. Okay.
I do
so
feel like
good.
you, Frank.
Not that Lampard would ever get anywhere near his own goal mouth.
You never know.
As you've
It
been so good with that one, you've got 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes for another question.
Oh, Jesus. OK. We've done that. Thoughts on David Luiz getting into Team of the Year 2? And I'm
Oh,
guessing...
Dan mentioned this earlier. Brilliant.
I don't know what that's about, but you
Stephen
lot...
King, yeah.
Is it
Stephen King,
It's
yes,
not comic
hello,
relief
Stephen.
time, is it? Any chance?
No, you mentioned this to me
He's
earlier.
in the FIFA Ballon d'Or World
The
Team
fell
of
on
the
the
Year.
floor.
Yep.
That is a bit
The
ridiculous.
FIFA people who
The
obviously...
Blonde d'Or, or whatever it was you called
The
it.
FIFA people who
Blonde
clearly
d'Or.
didn't watch their own World Cup. That's the only thing I can say.
What I think it meant was he's not in the FIFA Ballon d'Or. He's in the PS FIFA 14.
Oh, whatever.
Ballon d'Or.
I don't do computer games, but it's
He is
ridiculous.
a PlayStation
Well,
player,
somebody
apparently.
else said it's an absolute joke. Soccer analysis.
I mean, it is
so.
quite monster. I mean, look, don't make it wrong. I don't know about you, but I all you lot actually, but I love David Luiz
so
when
did
he
I.
was here. He's the kind of player I like to watch. The guy is absolutely certifiably bonkers. You know, he's got great hair. He had a great song. And you know what? Yes, he made a few Horlicks with us, but he also did some really, really good stuff. And don't you ever forget out there,
That
people.
goal at Fulham?
That goal at Fulham, which I actually nearly broke my neck by over-celebrating in Loka Bar in Dubai at the time. But also, do not forget that he helped us on one leg, I should remind you, to win the Champions League. Yeah. And he played brilliantly in that final. So, you know, before you start coating him off, just remember things like that.
They did do great things.
He's a
great.
brilliant footballer, but I still don't think he's a defender.
No, and you know what?
Oh, no,
I'm
he's
much
centre-
happier
yeah.
with JT, Cahill, Zuma and Branner in those positions. But, you know, you've got to give a bit of love where it's due.
I was upset when he left Chelsea.
so was I.
actually.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was.
I'm
And a
afraid,
lovely guy as well.
I'm afraid.
Is he?
I'm afraid. Hello. Well, I'm afraid we are out of time for questions because we did 3, which is pretty good.
Yeah, we
So
did.
anyway, right. Make sure because you didn't this week. You naughty, naughty people. Pin your lug owls back and listen to this. Sharpish. Make sure you send us in some good stories and photos by emailing the show during the week at ChelseaFancast at gmail. No, that's the Twitter. ChelseaFancast at gmail.com. OK? I actually did it in special big writing, so you can read it this week. There you go, chelseafancast@gmail.com. Because then you can get them in the show. We don't have to think of content for the last 10 minutes of it, you great Herbert. Of course. And Sophie will read them out if you do. And there's always the added bonus of that. Now, we will be back next Monday, which will be after the game against Swansea. No midweek game this week. So, again, I've got to think of more blooming content. Start playing 2 games a week again, Chelsea. It's driving me up the wall.
Anyone going to Swansea?
Afraid not.
No.
I don't have a passport.
That's a trek.
Very good. Just me then.
I'm saving for Paris. That's
All right, we've got to go, guys.
Only one overseas trip.
Do not forget to follow the show on Twitter at Chelsea Fancast, and of course make sure you check out the great blogs on the website, which of course you can find at chelseafancast.com. It's also where you can watch this show and download the episodes and all of that malarkey. And of course, lots of great stuff on there. And of course, don't forget to look out for my weekly articles, which I never, ever, ever plug on this show, ever. And you can find those at IB Times UK Sports. There you go. Nice little bit of a pluggage for that.
Very
and, of
good.
course, my monthly ones on CFC UK Fanzine. Right, many thanks to my lovely people this week, and they have been the fantastic Dan Levine.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to see Dan, always is. And also another Dan, the two Dans, Dan Silver,
Thank you for having me.
the Kurt Zima of the Chelsea Fancast. And last, but by no means least, the absolutely delightfully beautiful, wonderful, long-suffering, and actually getting better and better and better at being a presenter every week.
Thank you.
Sophie Rose.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and I will see you next Monday.
Now, remember, remind them where they can watch your other stuff.
Chelsea Fans Channel, and I also interview outside the Konica Bar, which is just outside the West Entrance, after every single home game.
All right, we got to go. We got to go.
People.
Enough pluggage, thank you. All right, thank you for listening. See you next time. Until then, keep it blue, keep it carefree, and keep it Chelsea. Up Chelsea!